and welcome to the Counter Surveil podcast. I am one of your hosts along here this week with Sledge and Delchai. Unfortunately, Altkey couldn't make it this week because her friend drove 6 hours to come say hello. So let's get started with our cheesy AI generated intro of the week.
Welcome to the Counter Surveil podcast. This is going to blow your mind. Hey, cyber warriors. Welcome to our cybersecurity update. Stay safe online with us. Ransomware attacks are on the rise. The Port of Seattle and Highline Public Schools were recently hit. Protect your data now. Critical vulnerabilities in Atlassian, GitLab, and Ivanti products. Update your systems to stay secure. Data breaches at 23andMe and Avis. Protect your personal data and stay informed. Global cyber threats are escalating. The US and Taiwan disrupted a botnet, while Russian cyber attacks target critical infrastructure. Turning everyday gadgets into bombs? A new threat to watch out for. Stay vigilant. Stay safe online. Follow us for more cybersecurity updates.
Yeehaw.
Nice. So I have some feedback I got to address. So just give me 1 second and you guys start talking.
So how about that 0-day that's about to be released against all Linux systems? Unauthenticated RCE on pretty much everything. That's going to be fun.
Indeed.
Oh, is Delchai still on the phone?
Okay, I think I addressed my feedback issue here. Delchai should be back shortly. And we have a new little intro for our Counter Surveil podcast disclaimer here. It's going to suck, just mind you.
The Counter Surveil podcast may contain content related to hacking, cybersecurity, privacy, and sticking it to the man by listening. You agree that you totally won't use anything you learn in your for evil pinky swear. We are absolutely, positively so responsible. If you get arrested, you'll come here to be here to respond. Or if you accidentally hack the planet, that's on you, buddy. NSA and FBI. That's part of the surreal, right? Wait, hello there, FBI agent. Any resemblance to actual hackers, living or dead, is purely coincidental, even if their handles sound really cool. If you get pwned IRL, they'll come crying to us as the elders of the internet once said. The consequences will never be the same. Anything you hear here can be complete BS, but it sure sounds impressive, doesn't it? Hack the planet. You've been rolling the bulk of the Counter Surveil noobs. Put on your black hoodies and prepare to jack in. It's about to get seriously cyber up in here. Crypto dreams, data streams. Listen close, it's closer than it seems. Fix the flossy through the smog. Counter Surf will join the blog. Warning, Counter Surf will blog.
All right, we're going to drop it there. Oh, man. I rendered that like 3 seconds before I went live. I didn't even have a chance to listen to it first. Oh, yeah. All right. So this week we got a lot of different things to discuss. I don't know what you were talking about with the Linux 0-day about to go live, but that sounds super interesting. I think you
Check
might
it out
just
in the chat. It was disclosed
shit.
3 weeks ago, and they're going to fully disclose it 2 weeks from now, within 2 weeks.
Oh,
but it's
shit.
an RCE labeled 9.9 CVSS on all Linux distributions.
Oh, snap. Where did you put it? Which chat did you put it in? Our Signal one or our Discord one?
Both, but the Discord articles of discussion is where I put the more reliable to find.
Give me 1 sec. I got to go pop over to the other computer to grab that.
It's on Signal as well, somewhere.
Somewhere. Yeah, amongst all the freaking 900 chat messages from this week amongst the freaking people
Exactly.
in the podcast. That's why we started the Discord.
Can't manage everybody.
So, what do you remember about this, Vaughn, while I bullshit for time as I try to find the article?
If I can find it. Oh, yeah. The problems with syncing a new computer to Signal. You don't have history.
Oh, that's always fun. Okay, so you put in the episode planning one?
Yeah. Or it's in the articles of discussion channel.
Alrighty.
Oh, wait, I can just click on
better.
that. Yep, there it is.
Hold on to your buttocks. There's the evil socket tweet. All right, got it. Thank you kindly.
Yep, that one.
Got it. Sharing screen. Present. Share
This
screen.
one's going to be fun if somebody can weaponize it. I feel like this is going to be a race to a POC.
So unauthenticated RCE in all GNU Linux systems, plus others, disclosed 3 weeks ago. Full disclosure happening in less than 2 weeks. Still no CVE announced. There should be at least 3, possibly 4, ideally 6. Still no working fix. Canonical, Red Hat, and others confirmed the severity a 9.9. Check screenshot. Devs are still arguing about whether or not some of the issues have a security impact. I spent the last 3 weeks of my sabbatical working on this full-time, this research, reporting, coordinating, and so on for the sole purpose of helping, and pretty much only got patronized because the devs just can't accept their code as crap. Responsible disclosure, no more. Look at this. They got a base score of 9.9 critical, temporal score 9.9, and environmental score of 9.9. They couldn't give him the 10.
I know. Like why are they not giving it the 10?
Nobody ever gets 10. It's like there's always one judge at 100. He's like, nah, it's not that bad. That's one of the devs he got on the panel.
Just wait until a POC gets released. It'll be a 10.
And that was released by Simone Margar, a.k.a. Evil Socket. Well, that's going to be interesting when that freaking breaches. I can't wait. It'll be a fun day.
All those analysts out there are going to have a heyday. And then if they can weaponize this, the pen testers are going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. It'd be a good time to time a pen test around, just so you know you'll be able to pop a bunch of stuff that week until they patch it all.
If you could make this easy, like as easy as like Eternal Blue or something, that would be that'd be a lot of fun.
You know, Eternal Blue came out the first time I took my OSCP, and I tried to use it on there and didn't get any points, even though I popped one of the boxes. Because it was so convoluted.
You not to use that.
It was so convoluted at the time, too, because you needed to have like all these Windows components. So I had to load a Windows VM to get the damn thing to run. Mm-hmm. Now it'll work in freaking Metasploit, but, you know, whatever. Yep. Should have gotten points for it. So we've got a bunch of InfoSec stories as well as that 0 day to talk about. The first being the Port of Seattle confirmed it was hit by ransomware attributed to, I can never say this one, Rhysida, R-H-Y-S-I-D-A, Rhysida, who the hell cares, which impacted systems for 3 weeks. And also, there was a Washington State high school that, you know, multiple high schools within a district all shut down due to a cyber attack. We have Atlassian, the people who make all those wonderful help desk softwares. September 2024 monthly. Yes, it does. Security Bulletin detailed multiple high-level CVEs within 4 of their products. GitLab patched a critical severity SAML auth bypass affecting both the Community Edition as well as the Enterprise
on a
Edition.
GitLab vulnerability just last night.
Oh, snap. Well, now you can add this one to the report as well. We also have Windows MS HTML spoofing. CISA ordered U.S. federal agencies to secure their systems against a recent Windows HTML spoofing vuln exploited by Void Banshee APT group. And last but not least, Ivanti Endpoint Manager has a proof of concept exploit out for the recently released CVE 2024-29847, which is a remote code execution vulnerability in Ivanti Endpoint Manager, which was recently publicly released. So if you are running an old version of Ivanti for your patch management, you definitely should be patching ASAP. Like, don't put it off until Monday kind of thing. Yeah. If you are running the latest version, however, you're fine, you know, because for some reason it was already had a stable version before they released that wasn't affected, probably because they patched it due to responsible disclosure. The thing that Simone here does not want to do anymore. Can't blame
Scheduled updates. What's that?
Well, you got to schedule the updates and then. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing that screen here and go back here. Also, top stories: 23andMe's data breach, which many of us have heard about from a few years back.
Oh, okay. It wasn't new. Okay.
Not a new one. They agreed to pay a $30 million settlement on this lawsuit over this data breach, which could amount to about $10,000 for every person who got involved in that. Although I have a feeling the lawyers are going to take a large portion of that money. And
you'll get like $40 on a check.
Yeah, and the check, if you cash it, will cost you $10.
Yeah.
And Avis Rent-A-Car Company notified 300,000 customers of a data breach, including scans of their licenses. That's going to be fun when that hits the dark webs. And in international cybersecurity this week, the U.S. government announced a disruption to Raptor Train, a Flax Typhoon botnet powered by hacked consumer devices. Think of that as your typical IoT botnet on steroids. And China-linked threat actor Tidrone Group started targeting military, drone, and satellite industries in Taiwan. And Russia and the U.S. and our allies have accused the U.S. and our allies have accused the Russian military of destructive cyber attacks against critical infrastructure globally, not just in countries they're at war with. No schnizzle.
I am shocked. Shocked to hear this.
Shocked and appalled.
Color me shocked.
None of you have ever seen Casablanca, have you?
Next, Disney, the people who brought us Mickey Mouse and the extended copyright, decided to stop using Slack after the entire content of their Slack server was released to the internet. Could have been an employee breach, could be an unknown vulnerability in Slack. And CISA and the FBI have alerted and urged tech companies to review software and eliminate things such as cross-site scripting vulnerabilities before being shipped, which is what freaking OWASP has been telling people for the past 25 years.
Yep.
And last but not least, Cybersecurity Working Gap is the new study published saying the workforce gap increased from 19%, up to 48 million, according to ISC Squared. So the cybersecurity workforce gap, meaning the excessive use of remote access tools, is leaving operational technology devices vulnerable, even with basic security features missing. And they go on to talk about a bunch of shit with that. Nobody cares about their say.
You mean like they don't secure remote access like ever? Wow.
You know,
shock and awe.
Or they're using those old VPNs where you can pull down the key, whatever it is, that key.
Indeed. With the push for everybody to go to remote access, not every company has done it properly. We've seen a lot of companies do things incredibly dumb, such as forwarding RDP ports to the internet for their term servers.
Oh, God. Or SSH, too. I've seen that.
Well, SSH usually, is a bit safer, but I would argue also probably not something that should be forwarded to the internet, although you'll still see companies with Telnet forwarded to the internet. So
yes,
there's that.
Well, there's a special place in hell for them.
Well, you know what? They're right next door to the other people I caught last week using basic auth. I couldn't believe
basic bitches.
I could not believe the alert when it popped up. I thought I was drinking or something. It's like, you guys are actually using basic auth. Hello?
No two-factor?
Now, there's one thing I'm curious about. Would you blame... Okay, it's clear that people are not properly securing their networks. Shock, awe. Okay, it's also clear that they're not configuring things correctly. Now, would you attribute this to piss poor sysadmin, or they're hiring too many of these BA degree-laden, I got a degree in cybersecurity, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing kind of people?
Both are true at once.
Right, but I mean, there has to be, I think one must outshine the other, and I'm not sure which one it is.
Well, I'm saying the book smart guys become those shitty sysadmins because they don't have
Right.
the experience to actually put it all together. So two things can be true at once.
And the thing is that it's like they're separate in. To me, they're separate, at least in the sense that, you know, we just laid off the guy who cost us $110,000 a year, and we replaced him with the guy who cost $65,000 a year, who just got out of college, so they must know what they're doing. And then next thing you know, they're like, "Oh yeah, we can leave these ports open. Click here to install remotely." Okay, yep. I mean, I was in a position once where a person actually went on to what is that shit called? That repository place that everybody loves.
GitLab,
GitHub. He went on to GitHub and downloaded the configuration script from Microsoft Azure. And without testing it, without thinking about it, without doing anything,
just run it and hope for the best.
Deploy that shit to production. Don't even read the code first. It'll be fine.
I came on duty and my shit was lit up like a Christmas tree. And I got my hand slapped a little bit, just a little, because I went into the general online staff meeting and I held up the information and I said, "Which one of you godless dog fuckers did this?" And it turned out to be the CTO.
I do want to push back a little bit by saying basic auth is like a shitty sysadmin. Obviously, that's accurate, but I will say that setting up SSO and stuff like that is kind of a pain in the ass, especially if you've never done it before.
That's the whole point. If you have the experience and you know what the F you're doing, or you know enough to know that you don't know what you're doing and you go look it up, that's different than, "I have a BA in cybersecurity and I am Tron." Ha ha ha. And,
it worked in a lab. It'll work in prod, right?
It's like, yeah, okay. It's like, why don't you just go back into the Code Red Mountain Dew and video game stage and come back when you're not so embryonic? I mean, I don't mean to beat on these people, but when they don't even know, what a DNS packet looks like, what are they doing with a BA or a BS or a BA?
We've had that conversation. Yeah, it's freaking abysmal.
And speaking of SAML auth, that GitLab vuln was due to their SAML implementation.
Well, have you heard the latest fun and games from Kaspersky?
Yeah, they're using or they're switching everything to what is it, Ultra AV or something?
They're making it self-destruct, uninstall itself, and reinstall some like unknown.
Yeah, it's Ultra AV. I've never heard of it.
I think this is a supply chain.
They automatically replace it, right? They just nuke it and reinstall with this unknown AV.
People don't even know people don't even know what's going on. They just they go, "Oh wow, look, my Kaspersky just uninstalled it." So, what? Wait, what?
Am I hacked?
Surprise forced update.
That's
you're already hacked. They just replaced your antivirus virus with a different antivirus virus that's not directly connected to the Russian government.
Correct. Kaspersky was already a virus, and it was trash to begin with.
But it comes with your new computer.
Oh, yeah. So does Norton sometimes. Windows Defender should be flagging all of those.
I like when McAfee comes pre-installed on the computer. I'm like, what year is this?
Right.
Somebody who had to deal with their EPM product. Oh, God, that thing sucked. I would not recommend McAfee anymore. If he were still alive and in charge of the company, maybe.
Is McAfee still around?
I don't know. Maybe. I think he's dead. I'm not sure.
I mean, I haven't seen that
McAfee's
software
dead.
floating around. Yeah, I haven't seen that software in a long time.
McAfee's pushing up daisies, but...
I know. But the software's
still around for some reason.
I think somebody bought him out. I don't remember. Anyways.
Anyhow. Ooh, I got another crappy AI generated intro I was going to go with, but I didn't have time to render it, so I'm just going to leave that one.
We should just play them all and have a little poll to see which one people like the most.
I'm gonna play this one by just sharing a window and hope that works and that the audio doesn't shit out. Let's see. This is the one I was gonna go with for this week, but I didn't render in time, unfortunately.
My personal favorite is our first one with the punk rock.
Yeah, that is a good one. Let's see. Forgive the Windows Media Player. It's a new Windows install.
Where's your VLC, bro?
Oh, that doesn't even work.
What?
Are you guys seeing it or not?
You didn't route your audio.
No, it doesn't work.
No, it's not even playing.
Lame. Anyhow, we'll
welcome to
we'll
Windows.
work on that. Yeah.
Oh, welcome to Windows. Yeah, okay. Let's see you install audio mixing on Linux. Let's just.
I can do it another way.
We'll get the padded cell ready for you now.
Give me a week.
Yeah, then you'll be drinking yourself to death.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Hello there, dear listeners, and welcome back to the show. Buckle up, buttercups, because this week we're diving headfirst into the wild, wacky, and downright terrifying world of cybersecurity. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cybersecurity, John. That sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry. But trust me on this one, folks. This ain't your grandma's computer class anymore. We're talking about ransomware attacks that could cripple entire cities, data breaches that expose your deepest, darkest secrets, and cyber warfare that makes the Cold War look like a playground spat. This is a world where digital chaos reigns supreme, where hackers lurk in the shadows, and where no one, not even your grandma, is safe. So grab your tinfoil hats and your strongest firewalls, because we're about to embark on a wild ride through the digital badlands. This is the Counter Surveil podcast, and this is Cyber Chaos Unleashed. First up on our cyber horror hit list, ransomware. This nasty little piece of malware is the digital equivalent of a hostage situation. Hackers break into a system, lock up all the data, and then demand a king's ransom to give you back the keys. Just ask the good people of Seattle, Washington, who recently got hit with not one but two major ransomware attacks. First, the Port of Seattle, a major hub for international trade, found itself in the crosshairs of cybercriminals. Cargo ships were delayed, businesses were disrupted, and the entire port ground to a halt. Talk about a logistical nightmare. But wait, there's more. As if that wasn't bad enough, the Highline Public Schools District also fell victim to a ransomware attack, forcing them to cancel classes for an entire week. That's right, folks. These cyber thugs held an entire school district hostage. And you thought your kids' homework excuses were bad. These attacks are a stark reminder that ransomware is a clear and present danger to our critical infrastructure, our schools, and our way of life. And the worst part? These are just two examples among countless others. Remember that feeling you used to get when you were a kid playing hide and seek, and you realized the person who was getting closer? That's kind of how I feel about software vulnerabilities. It's like there are a million little digital hiding places for hackers to lurk, just waiting for their chance to strike. And boy, have they been busy lately. We've seen major vulnerability reports from tech giants like Atlassian, GitLab, and even Microsoft Windows. That's right, even the big boys aren't immune to these digital gremlins. Atlassian, the company behind popular project management tools like Jira and Confluence, recently disclosed a critical vulnerability that could allow attackers to take complete control of affected systems. Yikes! Not to be outdone, GitLab, a popular code repository platform, also found itself in the hot seat after researchers discovered a flaw that could allow attackers to execute arbitrary code. That's bad news for anyone who uses GitLab to store their precious code. And then there's Microsoft Windows, the granddaddy of operating systems. Even this venerable platform isn't safe, with a recent vulnerability discovered in its MSHTML component. This flaw could allow attackers to execute malicious code simply by tricking users into opening a malicious file. The takeaway here, no software is perfect, and vulnerabilities are a fact of life in the digital age. The key is to stay vigilant, keep your software up to date, and hope for the best.
Not bad.
Remember that old saying, what happens in Vegas stays
He
in
just keeps
Vegas?
going.
Well, in the world of cybersecurity, that saying couldn't be further from the truth. Because when it comes to data breaches, what happens online definitely doesn't stay online. Just ask 23andMe and Avis, two companies that have learned the hard way that data breaches can have serious legal ramifications. 23andMe, the company that helps you uncover your ancestry through DNA testing, recently suffered a data breach that exposed the personal information of millions of users. Oops.
Which
Meanwhile,
they could have
Avis, the
sold
car
anyway.
rental giant, also found itself in the hot seat after a data breach exposed the personal information of customers and employees. Not exactly the kind of news you want to hear when you're trying to rent a car for your summer vacation. These incidents have sparked lawsuits, investigations, and a whole lot of bad press for both companies.
Finally,
Run.
shut the hell
More
up.
hoodies. More hoodies.
Wow.
You know,
All the
there's one
hoodies.
thing.
It's gonna run out of hoodie stock footage, my friends. We're gonna have
Where's
to go
all
put
the
on our
Guy
own
Fawkes?
hoodies and make new footage.
They need more
You
Guy
know-
Fawkes Max.
The thing
Oh,
that bugs
definitely.
me is that the people who like saying ransomware is the big problem. Ransomware is not the problem. It is not. It's the shit that they use to get the ransomware in there, like social engineering and unpatched boxes and legacy systems and all that. That is 1,000,000 times more the problem than crypto, warfare. Just no. They cannot get in there, and they cannot hold you ransom. They cannot make the ransomware work. The ransomware will not be able to get in unless you have some low-hanging fruit vulnerability. And then just grab a hold of that and go, yeehaw! So it's like your C-level person who whines because they want to watch porn and leaves your firewall open is your problem, not ransomware. It's like ransomware is, what do we do once we break into your house? Well, I'm going to pee in your cornflakes, I mean.
And then, if you're a company with enough assets to be worried about ransomware, have a good EDR solution in place and maintain it and monitor it.
And I mean, okay, 23andMe, the second or third biggest provider, seller of personal information. It's like, how dare you steal? Well, I have something for that, but yeah, like seriously, how dare you steal something from us that we were going to sell to anyone with money?
And then they're going to use biometrics and DNA to authenticate in a few years and be surprised that people are able to pull it from the 23andMe data breach.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
How do you reset your DNA?
Well,
can I go back?
There are ways to do it, but
Oh, it's crazy, man. Iris detection. So I was fooled by people holding up a smartphone with a picture of somebody's eye. That's a bit retarded as you can get.
That's why the clear ID verification stuff for like the TSA, it's kind of creepy that they have that information.
Yeah, they've got some really realistic fake masks they're selling. I was like looking at freaking Facebook ads for Halloween crap, and this one came up when these masks look really good. They're like latex, I'm surprised, like $50 or so. I'm like, you could probably get through TSA wearing one of those if you had an ID that matched it.
So I just had to verify my LinkedIn account today to get that checkbox or whatever, and it used that clear system. So I had to do a facial scan, and I'm like, this is weird.
Turn your head this way. Turn your head that way.
Why do you want to see my face?
The funny thing is, if you get a video of somebody turning their head this way and turning their head that way, and just pick the camera that's replaying a video, you could bypass that shit too.
Yep. AI can put a picture together real quick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people have been using AI to bypass KYC on crypto exchanges where they're having AI generate them license photos. So, if it's from a country the exchange doesn't normally deal with and it looks legit enough, usually they just go, okay, they don't even need to Photoshop it anymore.
Yeah, there you go. My first thought would use AI to generate a license key for Photoshop.
The use I saw of AI that I liked the most this week was turning Metallica into yacht rock.
That's
like
great.
Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, I think that's who did it.
There's this guy Autumn introduced me to who does YouTube videos. Where he's not really using AI. He's pretty much just impersonating celebrities, singing songs of other celebrities, and maybe using a little audio tuning shit that's not really AI. But he was brought up in Congress as an example of why AI is bad, and he himself wasn't using AI to make the things, which was pretty funny. It's also funny to hear Johnny Cash sing Barbie Girl, but you know.
Yes.
I'm a Barbie girl.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
And you know, the thing
fantastic.
is, it's making the Walmart people afraid of AI, and it's like
Doesn't stop them from using it at their self-serve checkout machines to try and detect shoplifters and filing lawsuits before even verifying the footage. So
that'll get settled. That'll get settled in court.
And it doesn't even work very well. Don't ask how I know.
It works about as well as the guy saying, "Can I see your receipt?"
Exactly.
No, it's usually a deterrence tactic. Like Amazon tried to do the stores where people could just walk in, take what they want, and walk out, and it would supposedly charge their Amazon accounts. But those stores obviously didn't do too well due to somehow having too much shrinkage, despite this perfect AI system that was going to just tack them back to their accounts. So I don't think technology's quite there yet.
They did it in San Francisco, where any store is like that now.
It's like, how are they going to make a profit because they have to pay the rent for the building, they have to tack on to your order price. Why would anybody go to use that when you could get it cheaper online and delivered to you?
Right.
You know, like I said,
I mean, there's the convenience factor of going to the store if you need something now. But now that you can DoorDash that shit right to your house too, and DoorDash is now having these Amazon type warehouses as well, not just going to local retailers. So if I need a thermometer at 2 a.m.
I've got one next to my house.
It's great.
Same-day shipping is awesome.
Price-wise, DoorDash is still doing to us what the Kennedys did to Marilyn Monroe. I mean, you can't get a delivery pizza under $50 anymore. And it's like, no. I would rather, and people, would rather walk in, walk out, not have to sit there and play, ESL when they're trying to get their lunch, right? You go in there and say, give me a turkey and Swiss on sourdough, no tomatoes, and you don't get, yes, very good, have a nice day. And then you get back and it's full of tomatoes and pickles and there's no cheese, right? You go into the Amazon store, you go to the shelf, you see what you're getting, you grab it, you walk out, you're done in 30 seconds.
And you can make sure it's not broken and actually inspect it.
The other thing is that delivery stuff. I mean, it's the fee mobile, okay? Oh, yeah. And the funny thing is people realize that DoorDash is hitting them from both sides. They're charging the restaurant extra money. The restaurant has to raise their prices. They're charging you the convenience fee. And then you go on YouTube and you see all of these DoorDash drivers. I spit in the food. I eat the food. No tip, no trip. And it's like, and I'm paying extra for what? And you're just paying out the nose in fees. And
that's kind of a human reality, which is why we like to tip immensely. It's like when you're working from home, it's like, I'm tired. I don't want to go. So we'll pay an extra shit ton of tip. Be like, make sure the food's good.
But
did you guys see this
practical.
One? It was from a while ago, but I thought it was still a good one, where this pizzeria owner made money buying his own $24 pizzas from DoorDash for $16. Because when DoorDash lists shit and all these companies list things, they will inflate the price. And then you still have to pay delivery and fees on top of that. So this pizzeria owner made money by essentially buying the pizzas from DoorDash for $16 and getting paid $24. So he realized they were doing that and price jacking his stuff. So just bought a bunch of them himself and owned the difference. So
That
good for
dude's a
that
fucking
guy.
hacker.
Have you
He's a freaking
seen
hero.
the ghost kitchens
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
on there?
So
The other night, I ordered a sand. I was in the middle of the night, jonesing, right? So I get like this place. I'm not gonna call them out, but they were. We'll call them Chernobyl because it has a similar theme. So I go into the DoorDash Chernobyl, grilled cheese with bacon, some onion rings. Yeah, okay. And they got, we're the local friendly ma and pa store, and thank you for shopping with us. The delivery gets here. Everything I ordered is in a Denny's container. And it came with a pre-filled bag of condiments, including maple syrup and jam and jelly. And I'm like, so they're operating a ghost kitchen out of a Denny's and calling it something else. And I'm just like, wow, people are just like, it's just incredible what they're getting away with.
Yeah, that famous YouTuber, Mr. Beast, did the same shit. He worked with one of those companies that will monetize your influence, and he did a ghost kitchen where this was a while ago. Oh, why is it there but not there? Anyway, so this Mr. Beast guy, he goes and create a free account now. Screw that. Just go here and let's disable JavaScript.
Retail
No, thank you, JavaScript. I'm gonna first try Element Zapper because sometimes that's fun. But oh nope, still can't see it. Element Zapper again, and I want to see this freaking article. Nope, I guess
the
not.
New York Times is wretched for that.
Yeah, so is Washington Post.
What was the URL for that one? This one? Oh, schnizzle. That was not it. Then you bypass it this way.
Which way did you do? Which way is that?
Nope.
Oh,
hit the
you don't have
freaking
permission.
no permission to hit that one. Old school. Go this way. Archive.is.
There you go.
And then we're just gonna hit the captcha.
You're not gonna hit the secret hacker tool F12.
I was just gonna disable JavaScript, but then I remembered that doesn't work on the New York Times one anymore. So I'm gonna hit the archived version from archive.org because it's probably a lot quicker than me screwing around trying to bypass it live and on the air.
Hey, it could be fun to watch.
Just say it's educational.
There we go. So this was Mr. Beast. He got in trouble essentially because he let them franchise his name for a bunch of ghost kitchens, and they made hamburgers, but the hamburgers that were getting made were actually not even as cool as like a Denny's that's going to make your Mexican food. It was actually regular people's kitchens where the orders were getting picked up from, and a lot of the times they weren't following best practices as far as health and safety is concerned.
You don't
People were getting raw undercooked burgers. Yeah, they call it a ghost kitchen.
Okay, now
very popular when the pandemic first started.
A raw burger. Okay, so you're talking about raw ground beef patty on a bun, just not even cooked. I mean, you don't
barely
have
cooked.
Barely. Yeah, well, that's one thing, but completely flat out raw. I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to buy tamales from the grandmother in the parking lot, at the Sears in
Absolutely.
Denver. Okay, I'd buy 3 dozen of those damn things, kiss her on the cheek, and go on my merry way, sucking my horchata. I mean. But the thing, they just clamped down on that in Vegas now. You've got to have a permit to have a street cart. And they were all going, oh, my God, it's so racist. And then it really wasn't racist. The problem was people were making food and they weren't, washing their hands or anything else. They'd take a cup of sewer water and add some grenadine to it and sell it to you. And it's just like, no, people, it's like, I'm sorry. I mean, I understand the gig economy and I appreciate the gig economy, but for God's sake, wash your hands. You stand out in the sun for 18 hours and there's no facilities around there. So A, where did you go to the bathroom? And B, where did you wash your hands? And, you put A and B together and it smells like Syrah, I mean, E.
I'm libertarian on most things regarding like regulations and stuff, but in terms of something like that, yeah, we might need some regulations.
I mean, libertarian is fine, but I mean, when it comes to putting things in your mouth that may leave you sitting in the bathroom reading War and Peace, bring on a little bit of control.
Tell that to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Oh no, Taco Bell is just Taco Bell. I mean, it doesn't matter if they wash their hands or not. You're done. You're just out there.
Yeah, this one happened back in like 2021 with Mr. Beast staging essentially these ghost kitchens and letting somebody capitalize on his name. And they call it ghost franchises now, where there's entire companies that don't have actual physical storefronts and operate out of other stores.
Yep.
Like Delchai mentioned, his was made in, whatever restaurant, big box restaurant it was, Denny's. Yeah.
Well, you can go on Creighton. Is it Craigslist? I think not Craigslist. Yeah, Craigslist, and you'll see ghost kitchens for rent.
Yeah.
People will say, here's a fully stocked, fully ready to go ghost kitchen, and you can rent it from us. And it's an industrial kitchen, and it looks really nice. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. There's one in Vegas that I went to when I was I went to DoorDash to buy something, and then I did the pick it up myself option. And I went to go pick it up, and it was a ghost kitchen. And they actually had a sign up there, and it said Ghost Kitchen Tours. And you could actually go get a tour of the ghost kitchen. I don't know why they thought that was a big value, but they were doing it.
It's the same reason why you get a free tour of a condo. I mean, they want you to get sucked in and buy it.
I think it's more that they want people who would like to have their brand prepare their food at that ghost kitchen, so they can have like a tour of the place, make sure they're safe first or whatever. Not just for people who are picking up food generally. But yeah.
I would argue if you're giving a tour, like a tour of a brewery is one thing because everything is sealed and pretty sanitary. Having random strangers go through a kitchen,
Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament. Now, I've also noticed a lot of grocery store, DoorDash, and a lot of the other one, Grubhub too. They made their own convenience stores now, like DoorDash Market, and they're competing directly with 7-Eleven and even Dollar General.
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up. Is that they have their own locations to pick stuff up from. So they'll often make like the 7-Eleven pickup a little bit more expensive, and then if you look at the price on theirs, it's like $1 or $2 less, but it's still inflated from what you'd get if you just walk to 7-Eleven and pick the shit up.
You know what truly puts fear into my soul, though, is going into DoorDash and seeing 99 Ranch Market. Have you ever been to a 99 Ranch Market?
I'm not even sure what a 99 Ranch Market is.
I don't know.
Think of it this way: it's a market, but if you ever want to cheap out on a day trip with your children, just take them to a 99 Ranch Market instead of the zoo, because it's like wall-to-wall fish tanks full of anything, and they're all still alive. It's like you want this kind of fish, you want a squid, you want anything. They just reach in the fucking container and pull it out, and it's like flailing around, and they chop it up right in front of you.
Yeah, that sounds dope. That's what the World Market here in Georgia is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot like that. Except World Market does things from all over the world. That's where I go to get my some of my guiltier sins, like my Guinness ketchup and stuff like that. You get all your good British food.
There was a Korean grocery store that had one of those like restaurants built into it where they had that kind of stuff back in Hempstead in New York. I used to go there for lunch every now and then, and I'd watch as they'd grab the thing out of the tank and then they'd kill it and fry it up right for my lunch. I was like, at least it's fresh.
Back when Red Lobster was cool.
There's one of those in Vegas too. It's right by the Best Buy.
Oh yeah. I think they're a national brand.
Yeah, when you first walk in, it's all like cafeteria, and then the rest of it is store.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a kid walking into Red Lobster, and you get to pick out your lobster, and they'll kill it and fry it up for you. That was
the other thing these places are good for is if you're a weeaboo, they have every single kind of candy from Japan, just like three aisles, grocery store aisles of nothing but Japanese candy.
Yeah.
And if you're a weeaboo or you're happy to be dating a weeaboo, it's just a gold mine.
I would always go into those stores and grab random crap, not having a clue what it is. Come home, Google it, and then try to cook something with it.
Have you tried the random like prepackaged foods? It's like, dried octopus testicles, and there's like 20 in a bag, and you had no idea because you can't read what it says on the bag, and you go home, you're munching down on it, and then you look it up and go, oh, whoa, hey now.
I used to have a website with all my random recipes I came up with. Just go to the World Market and be like, here's $100 worth of food. Let's go see what we can do with it. I have no idea what any of it is, but
the thing I really hate about the recipe websites is they all have like a freaking somebody's life story about why this recipe is the thing before they get to the recipe.
It's like, get down to the freaking...
No kidding. And some of them even actually have a button now that says click here to go to the recipe. And it's like, this is the recipe handed down from my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother who used to use a cast iron, and tongs, and she would cook over the fire for 12 hours. And
it was a sunny, bright day.
It's just like, wow, how many wine drinkers are reading this?
The chick from SummerCon I knew, Aloria, he had a website she tossed up just for the shits and giggles back when she was alive, called Just Effing Recipes, and it was literally just recipes, no ads, no bullshit, just recipes. Long since
shout out to the Hacker Cookbook. It's on GitHub.
Oh, hello.
Hacker Cookbook. That I had to check out.
I've got
Cameron from the old podcast had shared a whole recipe folder with me with like gigabytes of PDFs of like recipe books and different recipes he found interesting. I gotta go find the link to that and get back.
What was it? Just like stuff to make when you're in a giant apartment with nothing but a hot plate and a bed.
No, it was more
that stereotypical hacker, apartment look kind of thing.
You mean like your apartment, except you have the stove?
Except no, my apartment has luxury features like a refrigerator and a toilet and things like that.
You start your car and put a cast iron on the engine, and you see that.
True story. A friend of mine. This goes back decades ago. Brilliant 6-figure programmer. This guy was smarter than I will ever be, and he could like blindfold himself and with one hand write better C code than most people I know, except for Dill Dog. And he called me up one day and he asked me, he said, you do me a favor. And I'm like, what? And he said, I'm going to go buy a car and I need you to help me. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. So I go over to his place. He has this 2-story upstairs, downstairs, like townhouse, right? In the upstairs, in the living room, was a mattress and a hot plate and a TV and his computer. There was nothing else in the entire apartment. Everything, the kitchen had no food in it. He didn't even have toilet paper.
Dude, he was probably paying double what I'm paying for my mortgage, too, on top of that.
Now, here's the worst part. That should have been the red flag, right? We get to the car dealership. I drove into the car dealership, and we're looking around, and he pokes and prods and kicks the tires and does all this stuff. And the sales guy caught on that, I was there to help him out. So he sort of said, well, we're going to go talk about this privately. And he took my friend and took him into one of those little isolation booths where they, rip you off and they take your underwear before you get the car, right?
Good times.
And I'm sitting out there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I see my friend looking really confused. And the dealer is like just doing the explaining hand thing, like, what the hell is wrong with you? And my friend comes out and he looks at me and he says, what's a driver's license?
Oh, that's great.
And I'm like, wow. It's like, can I be a consultant and work for you so I can make your life work? It's like, I will make sure that you are fed and watered properly and you can pay me 1/3 of your salary.
How have you survived this long?
In college, He survived in college. He had a dorm room in college.
Oh, I see.
It was like a 10-minute walk to the cafeteria. He never had to pay a bill or go anywhere, and all he did was, hack and eat and pass his classes. And then they kicked him out into the real world, and he was completely unprepared.
The pager memes never get old.
Oh no.
Speaking of, you had want to talk about an article written by
by
the
Bunny.
Xbox stuff, Bunny. So let's pull that article up and talk about it. That's Bunny Huang, right? And it was pager thing. I just like Bunny pager.
The best explanation, but of literally almost a step-by-step of here's how to do it. Because at first I was ready to trash the article because it was just blah, 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 exploding battery. And I'm like, that's only been debunked 1,000,000 times. But then you go down further and he shows you how lithium-ion batteries are made and how easy it would be to put a strip of PTEN in the battery when it's being manufactured. And I was just like, okay, wait a minute. This guy's got some good stuff here.
Yeah, let's share.
And he goes into deep detail on the supply chain attack angle too.
There we go. Can you guys see that all right? Try and make it a bit bigger for you.
There you go.
All right.
That rendering okay?
Hold on. So, I don't know if you guys have heard the latest news, but it wasn't necessarily technically a supply chain attack. The IDF had a shell company. They made the pagers and sold them to Hezbollah. Same with the radios.
That's supply chain, isn't it?
I mean, technically it is supply chain, but it's not like they intercepted it, modified it, they made it.
Yeah.
It's like the Underground Railroad version of the supply chain.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is nothing shocking. It's something that hasn't been done in war before, and everyone's wetting their pants over it. And it's like, what is wrong with you people? Did you ever hear of the Trojan horse? The exploding cigarette packs, the teddy bears with C4 in them. I mean, this goes back to the Korean War or even the Vietnam War. You roll somebody over and boom, and they put a grenade up his ass or something. But it's like this kind of attack is nothing new. And it's nothing that extraordinary or technical. I think what happened is somebody just got this idea, eating lunch one day and said, damn, why don't we just make the pagers explode? And then they went to their boss and their boss said, oh, wow, that's a good idea. And they lock them up in a room and throw away the room. And next thing you know, they've got this brand new hack, quote unquote, brand new hack out there. It's not that great. But the thing is, Bunny did an amazing job of deep diving into it. And now politically saying, well, this is a bad idea and we shouldn't do it. Well, guess what? War is a bad idea and we shouldn't do it. So, shut up, hippie. But outside of that, it's not, like he says right there, it's not hard. And it really isn't.
So let me add to that, though. Let's try not to get too political here, but another aspect was they were convinced that their cellular and modern communications were hacked. That's why they went to pagers. That's when they stepped in and sold it to them, and they just took it hook, line, and sinker.
I totally agree. I mean, I've recommended people to go back to pagers for things. I mean, and we were way past the days of POSAG. Okay, why they chose POSAG, I don't know. How they got their hands on that many POSAG pagers, I don't know, because it's almost impossible. Everything is on. Everything's on Flex now.
Was it like 15,000 pagers or something?
But it's like somebody in their basement. Did they call Uncle Ira and say, "Hey, you got any pagers?" I mean,
they got
if I needed a shit ton of pagers that were POXAG, I would just Google bulk pagers POXAG and see what the hell comes up. I'm sure there's a lot of hospitals that have gone off of it and they're just reselling the old hardware.
When I was doing my recreation, when I was doing my recreation of the pagers from hackers, A guy who ran a pager shop actually shipped me a box of like 100 of them. He just said, "I'm trying to clean out my warehouse. Here, happy birthday."
There you go.
And that's how I was
want
able
one,
to
damn
do
it.
that.
Well, he's got
I
a
got
bunch
you.
of them.
Yeah, just hit me up. I'll hook you up.
So we
I'll trade
gotta
you.
rebuild one of those pagers and toss in Meshtastic to it, man.
That's right.
That's the goal now. Like I've got a pretty cool Meshtastic device I built over there in pieces somewhere. But it's actually got the keyboard and it doesn't require being tethered to the phone. I just got to get a working GSM for it. But if we can fit all that crap into a pager, that'd be
I've seen
cool.
Konagachis stuck into pager cases.
I'm working on a badge for another hacker circle that looks like a little missile shape cylinder kind of thing, but it's AI driven and it talks to you. I want to put Meshtastic in that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm starting to put together my checklist for DEF CON next year. You know, what am I going to wear to DEF CON? Mask, pager, two-way radio. Yeah, let's just
put
really
an explosive warning on the pager.
Oh man. So they also blew up the radios. That came out, I think, the day after we had casted last week. Where
same shell company too.
Yeah. You'd think, having bought a bunch of these pagers and having them blow up, they would have not then used the radios from the same company. They blew a bunch of people up at a funeral too. That was freaking like wow. But targeted, pretty good targeting.
Very target. That was one of the best targeted attacks I think we've seen.
Yeah, I believe one of the countries just openly declared war on Israel, and they did it over Twitter, which I don't think I've ever seen Twitter used for that before. But yeah.
Well, it depends. You got to hang out in some of the places where they talk about video games, you know, like Call of Duty or whatever. You know, it's like, oh, our team declares war on you. Yeah, well, you're ugly and I date your sister. And, you know, it's good from there.
I saw your mom last night.
It's freaking crazy, man. It's gotten nuts. The
war is awful.
What is it good for? Lining
Absolutely nothing.
So why it's not hard? This is the section we seem to care about here. Lithium batteries are ubiquitous. They are produced in enormous volumes by countless factories all around the world. Small labs and universities regularly build them in efforts to improve their capacity and longevity. One can purchase all the tools to produce batteries in R&D qualities for a surprisingly small amount of money, in the order of 50 grand. This is a good thing. More people researching batteries means more ideas for our gadgets to last longer, while getting closer to our green energy objectives. And then it shows some pictures here of a bunch of different types of equipment you could buy to manufacture batteries and the prices. Some of them only being 10 grand, some 5 grand to $2,000. The process is to build such batteries. It's well understood and documented. And he goes on to talk about the process, milling, and all this fun stuff here with these nice little visual aids. And he shows us a nice little picture of what's inside of one of them. We got the copper foil, graphite, a separator, lithium, whatever the hell that chemical formula is, aluminum foil, and flexible packaging. And that is a high resolution image of an metric measurement of a thickness change of a lithium ion pouch battery. Wow, that's a mouthful. And it shows how the process is automated too, how the batteries are put together, what the processing kind of looks like. And I imagine he's going to soon go into how you could just add a bit of a layer of thermite into that and the battery would still work. So there we go here. He's going to talk about a custom fab product he made called the Precursor. Costs about 10 to 15 layers inside, costs a few $1,000s and a few weeks to get a couple of thousand of them made. But the point is that making these custom pouch batteries isn't rocket science. There's a whole bunch of people who know how to do it and a whole industry behind it. So when it comes to reports indicating the explosive payload in the cells is made of PETN. Now, that stands for Pentarol, I cannot pronounce that. I'm just going to click the link and pentaerythritol tetranitate. All right, that's PETN, and this is insoluble in water, nonpolar solvent, yada yada yada, chemically stable, and can be used in explosives. Commonly used as an explosive with high brisbane, secondary explosive, meaning it's more difficult to detonate than primary explosives. So dropping or igniting it typically won't cause an explosion, which is probably why it was a good choice. So combining that with the ability to overvolt the battery as the primary charge and then having this be the secondary is probably how they did it, I'm guessing. Haven't read the whole thing yet. But such a sheet could be inserted into the battery fold and stack process after the first fold is made.
One of the theories I saw contradicts what we were looking at the other day. It looks like they have 2 battery slots and they swapped out one battery for a charge.
That would make sense. According to Bunny's right up here, it does look like that's where it went, though, that once folded in the core of the battery, it's sealed in an aluminum pouch and very, very difficult to detect. So I'd imagine if you had thousands of these going through customs and like getting scanned, it's just going to look like a regular battery as far as those machines are concerned. It'll get right through because, I mean, it's in a sealed part of the battery and it doesn't stick out probably from what would otherwise come up on like a CAT scan or an X-ray. Yeah, he even goes into that. It would defeat even CT scanners and might leave a detectable EIS fingerprint. I don't know what an EIS fingerprint is, but it's electrochemical impedance spectroscopy. Say that 3 times fast. Detonating it apparently is a bit more tricky without a detonator. It might burn fast instead of detonating. So he then
kind of
goes
like
on
gunpowder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he talks about that in the next couple of lines where it's not really an issue.
And based on the available descriptions of the device getting hot prior to detonation, one might suppose detonation is initiated by a trigger circuit shorting out the battery pack. That reminds me of a hand warmer I used to have that worked by charging it up.
Yeah.
It would literally just short the battery until the thing got hot. I'm surprised it never blew up on me, honestly.
Yep.
So it causes the internal polymer spacers to melt, and eventually the cathode and anode pairs come into contact, creating a spark. Spark can further be guaranteed across the PETN sheet and introduces a small defect, such as a slight dimple, into the surrounding cathode-anode layers. Yada, yada, yada. Essentially, electricity, spark, go through explosive thing, and go bang. Yeah. It go bang.
Better living through chemistry.
That is not what the freaking Loft guys meant, but I like it. Chip design. Yeah, he got
I thought those
good
basements were using double A's, though.
I don't know, man. Back in the day, they probably did, but I mean, if you're buying them now, I can imagine they would have like a C port built charger on them.
The ones we were looking at on the last episode, it looked like a single bay for double A, but the ones I heard, they had 2 double A slots.
Well, maybe those weren't the right model, or maybe they were retrofitted.
I saw that and I didn't agree with that because it looked like just the case. It didn't look like it took two batteries. Plus, all the description I heard was lithium ions, not double A's.
Well, but, the truth will come out in the wash.
Yeah. Truth will come out as soon as we send someone over there to buy a pager.
Yeah.
So, remember the article about the hospital switching out their pagers the week before? I wonder if they'd gotten a batch of those somehow, and somehow somebody notified them, like, "Hey, don't use those pagers. They're gonna give you better pagers. Just don't use those."
We got these new fancy ones.
A lot of hospitals still use the old,
We have a comment here from Darius Moon. Any source on the effectiveness? My son had seen that most injuries were collateral damage. We figured that we won't really know, but it's still interesting.
Well, the funerals they've been showing all over the place kind of lend to, guess what? It was pretty, it wasn't just collateral damage. Hell, that meme that you put up there kind of indicated that. If you remember the meme with the guy with his midsection blown off.
Oh, yeah, that was a good meme.
Yeah, with the virgins.
Yeah, that was part of our meme review last week. Don't have it handy anymore, unfortunately. But it was a good one. I always go with this one, though.
Oh, put up the one that I made for you.
I don't have them all handy, and they're not uploaded here.
No, it's only one that I made.
Oh, is this one?
No, the Candygram one.
Like I said, don't have it handy. I don't have any of the other ones handy. Only the two I uploaded to the chat last week.
I found out the hard way that the majority of the people on the internet have never seen Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, I mean, you got to realize it's a movie that was made, in the 70s?
Yeah,
I think not too many people today who are on the internet who were born in the 90s are going back watching movies from 20 years before they were born.
I realize that many of these people were nothing more than a sperm count when the movie came out, but I mean, who hasn't seen 2001, right? And that came out when even we were walking around going, "Daddy, can I have a candy, please?" It's like there are some classic movies out there. They teach Blazing Saddles in some college courses.
Let's address Darius's comment.
We just did, but we can put it back up.
Oh, did we? Any source on the effectiveness? My son had seen that most injuries were collateral damage. We figured that we won't really know, but it was still interesting. Yeah, I don't think we have that data yet, but I have heard that this was the most targeted, divisive attack to where least civilian casualties, other than this was more targeted than just throwing bombs at a city.
It was surgical.
Yeah,
but the thing, haven't we seen funeral footage of people who died from these things?
Yeah, they got blown up at the funeral too. Blown up.
And I mean, there may be some collateral damage because there was that one guy who was in the grocery store. And the last thing you see him doing is looking down because he heard his pager beep or something. And then everybody's running like mad.
Yeah. And then there was another video of a bunch of people at a funeral when somebody's radio blew up. And that was the day after the first one. And I guess they were at the funeral for one of the guys who died in the pager thing. And then they blew up the radios at the funeral. And that, I got to give it to
the intended target. Good job.
If you're looking to do collateral damage, maybe the radio was configured in such a way to have a bigger blast radius than the pager, knowing that after the pagers went off, there'd be a bunch of these people at a funeral to mourn the person, and then, Allahu Akbar, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Aloha snack bar.
Yeah. We can only speculate. We don't know. We're just hackers. We break into computers. We don't build bombs. At least most of us don't.
I don't fix shit. I break shit.
There you go. So, other than that and the other stories we covered this week, is there anything else we'd like to cover this cast, or should we start wrapping it up?
It's up to you guys. I'm just chilling.
Chilling like a villain?
I plead the fifth.
It's thrilling. You're going to make a killing. So, any of you people watching out there, Sledge is a very talented pen tester and back on the market. Available to be used and abused by your CISOs. So just hit him up. He is waiting for opportunities. Or
playing it by ear.
Like a contractor who's very, very talented at pen testing, hit up his website, which is desertrainsecurity.com. Don't mind that it looks just like my website. It's just because I used the same template.
Womp womp.
Sledge is really
Whatever.
talented, though. So if any of you guys out there are looking for a pen test or a VA, please hit him up. He could definitely do you a solid. And if I were not so good at it myself, I would probably hire him to pen test my shit. So
Can you break into my girlfriend's Facebook account?
Shut up.
that is no bad Delchai. Bad
You know how
Delchai,
many
no
times I
donut.
get asked that?
Yes, that's why I said it.
Oh, dude, you're a hacker? Dude, can you break into and insert social media bullshit here?
or
It's like, I
even
could,
better,
but I won't for you.
can you sell my computer for me?
I can't get into my
Oh.
phone. I get the phone. This isn't your phone, is it? Oh, no, I found it. Oh, I see.
Oh, hey, I did brain surgery on an Obama phone earlier today.
Dude, the other night I'm in my new town here in Utah, and pretty bored at about 2 a.m, and the bars all close at 1. But I figure I'd go for a walk anyway. I go into town, and there's a dude hanging out with a bunch of people, and he's got all his musical gear set up, and people are just hopping in and like playing different instruments and singing. It was a great time. The dude called himself like Midnight Soup, and talking with this guy for a while after he lets me sing some bullshit AI song I made, and having a good time talking to the guy. Next day he hits me up and tells me some hacker is now extorting him for Bitcoin and has sent him his address and a bunch of other shit in a PDF file, and is trying to claim that he looks at porn on his computer and he's going to leak webcam footage of him. And I'm like, how does this always happen? I freaking meet somebody, I tell them what I do, and the next day they reach out to me. It's like, yeah, some hacker. Is it you? This guy at least was nice enough not to say, is it you? He just forwarded me the email, and I tried to figure it out. Didn't really figure out shit other than they're mass generating the PDFs using Qt, a freaking like old PDF rendering library from like 2015. But other than that, it's probably some asshole.
I've had Uber drivers hit me up after they drop me off and be like, yo, after that conversation, you think you can help me with some dumb shit?
Teach Uber drivers how to use GPS spoofers. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
that way you don't have to lie about, being at the airport. You can just set your location to the airport. I was screwing around with Autumn a few weeks ago. I let her have my access to my accounts, specifically email and Gmail, and she can use the Find My Phone shit because she lets me do the same to feed my paranoia, so I can only reciprocate. And I knew she was tracking me, and I saw she did the thing where when somebody geolocates your phone through Find My Phone, you get a notification. So I saw her do that, and then I went and spoofed my GPS. And I set it to be like, I think, someplace in California, like a police station, even though I live nowhere near California. And then I watched as she geolocated me again and just laughed my ass off as the messages came in. It's like, what are you doing in a California police station? Did you hop on a plane? What's going on? You said you were going to the store. It was fun.
That geolocation spoofing used to work really good for Pokemon Go.
Yeah, and jukeboxes too.
Oh, jukeboxes. You combine that one. There was a dude who was trolling his fiance when she went out to the bar with her friends, and he just kept playing the same bad country song over and over again on the jukebox. So his wife would leave, and it worked. She came home and told him about how some asshole just kept playing the same country song on the jukebox. So they left. And then he told her. That was great. That's some good shit.
There's a biker bar out here that I used to hang out in. And one night when I couldn't go out because I had to work, I geolocated myself to the biker bar and played Village People, like just entire Village People catalog.
That's great. Well, man, they must have loved you. They had the skip thing, right? Where if they skip a song, it actually adds. Somebody figured out.
I think you have to pay for that.
You do.
No,
unless you're the bartender with a remote, and then you can just hit it. But what somebody figured out is when the bartender does that skip thing, it adds these credits somewhere, and then you could actually use those credits with Flipper on the same jukebox and like
You
play
can
for
skip
free
with the Flipper too.
from the skip credits
Yep.
that are already in there, but only as many times as the bartender's already skipped songs.
You know, it was the last time I checked it out. It was a real pain in the ass to use, but there is a for at least one jukebox company, they had a complete control set for the Flipper.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've messed with it.
Yeah.
I could never get it to fully work, and when I asked the guy who made it, he was a complete south side of a north-facing mule train.
I just like turning off all the bar or all the TVs in a bar on my way out. It's so funny.
Yeah, tell me about it. They had my ID at that freaking bar you and I were at because they had. So Sledge and I are at Circle Bar at DEF CON after DEF CON, hanging out with all the cool people, and the Circle Bar closes and the bartender doesn't bother to give me my ID or credit card back and just kind of walks off with them. So I'm like, shit, well, they didn't even charge me for my drinks yet. I was looking at my phone and they have my card somewhere. I went to the other bar. I get my card back and Sledge is now hanging out with me at that bar while I'm waiting to get my card back. I get my card, and then this guy, now that they have all my identifying information, starts fucking with all the TVs with his Flipper. It's like, great. If they look into who the asshole in a casino bar turning off TVs are, the only person who's near him who knows him has been hanging out with him all night is me. Thanks for that.
You got to be covert about it. I like to stick it under my armpit to where even the cameras can't see it.
You were not covert about it. You were about as slick as you were hitting on that girl whose boyfriend had his arm around her. It was about how slick you were.
I got you all beat because I just roll by in my wheelchair.
There you go.
And everybody knows what Rolling Thunder can do.
Dude, we got to put a freaking thing. I have an idea for Rolling Thunder, right? You know how you've got the LEDs on it? If we replace those lines of LEDs with IR LED blasts, and we have them set in like series or parallel, and when one turns on, they all do, and then we just hook it up to the Flipper and play the TV Be Gone shit.
Yep.
So it blasts the freaking IR on like all TVs, but instead of having it turn them off, we just make it like volume up. So like any TVs that are automatically muted in the bars, as soon as you come in, will just get super, super loud.
Or with those IR LEDs, have it start turning the colors on traffic lights.
Oh yeah, that works too. It'd be a fun one if we took the glasses that already have the built-in IR LEDs and we put a microcontroller in there and we programmed to do shit like TV Be Gone. So instead of just flashing on off, just made it go like different IR sequences, like maybe Bluetooth it to a phone so you can change the sequence, and then like walk into a casino and play the IR code to like turn off cameras.
My trick for the volume thing was I pulled out my Flipper and started recording signals, right? And I asked the bartender to, change the channel or do something so I could clone the actual remote. And then I started using that and fucking with it.
That's too many steps, bro. Just download the base codes for all the remotes onto the text file and put it on the SD card. You just go on your Flipper. It's like, oh, it's a Vizio TV. Boosh, and then you're already good.
I mean, that works too.
A step.
I didn't
use the universal one that just freaking goes through all the codes for every button you press. That's fun also.
That new firmware is pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, still don't let you fuck with the low frequency radio, though.
I did find a problem, though. It was not strong, like the radio itself. It didn't have enough range to read a chip on a dog. It could see it, but it couldn't read the data off of it. I don't know if the fur was too thick, but I think it needs an external radio or external antenna.
The issue is when you connect the external antenna, then you're going to have to modify the program to know to use the GPIO port and bit bang that rather than using the onboard radio. Just the same issue I had when I bought the IR hat for my Flipper, and I have all these cool IR programs I wanted to do, like longer blasts and like be able to hit shit further away. And then realized each one of those programs, I need to freaking go into the code and change it so that it understands to use that instead of the built-in radio. So
yeah, it's like I could use any of my other SDRs, but they still have the same problem. I was using the Proxmark 3, I think, for physical engagement, trying to clone people's cards, and I just couldn't get it. It claims like 2 feet of distance, right? I couldn't even get it to work slapping the card.
You want to know the secret to doing that? You got to use the spider box.
That's what we did. That with an actual one of those $600 HID readers, like an actual one.
Oh, an actual one?
Meshtastic RFID Thief. So it uses the D batteries and the specific reader that they have in the garages, and it's Arduino that you pop on that thing with an SD card. I built that a couple of years ago. I captured a bunch of cards, but my issue was I didn't know which card corresponded to the floor I wanted to go to. So I just, all right, there's 100 floors. This card's going to get me to floor 3, and then I get to go exit and go down the stairs to go out of the building again and try again.
Yep.
The original spider box was built on one of the garage readers, but with a 12-volt Lantern battery.
Oh, snap,
and he
really?
put it in the bushes right in front of the door to the building. So anybody who walked into the building got zagged. But that was cool. Way before. We're talking like back in the 2000s when I made the first one. And
nowadays, if I were gonna rebuild the Tastic RFID Thief now, I wouldn't use the whole circuit board, all that shit. I would just stick in one of those what do they call them? The thing that Deviant talks about in his talk. You open the thing up and you stick this in, kind of like you do with the Vampire Attack back in the day.
I have one, but I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what the hell it's called either. I had one for like 2 years, and it just sat in my box of shit, and it didn't come with me on my move. But it's pretty much the same thing, except it's all built in, and it's got Bluetooth already on it, and you can replay the code you've already seen. And
Bluetooth and
so
Wi-Fi.
I just stick one of those in one and have it run on battery, and then stick that in a messenger bag. And then as people get the card,
sends it back to you, and then you clone cards with that.
Right. I mean, that was the way the Tastic worked, but you still had to take the SD card out of the thing, and then screw around with Proxmark's like the actual commands in there to then take the format that was in, modify it, and then put it on a new card, which obviously if you're in an engagement, that's a bit time intensive, as opposed to just having a freaking reader read it and then Bluetooth it to your phone and then being able to use that right off the bat to code a new card, maybe, or just put it on a flipper or something.
So how we did it was we took one of those commercial grade big ass HID readers with a battery and a Raspberry Pi with, I can't remember the operating system, but it was specific for cloning cards. And that's what we would use to put on our laptop case and brush up against people and clone their cards. So we got it all that data. We went back to the hotel room and we got a stack of random blank cards with the Proxmark and use that to write to the cards. And then later that night, we just walked in. They worked. It was like, all right.
I've been playing with the new firmware and also the Rogue Master, kind of flipping between the two. It seems like there's now a function to write to the cards as well as just clone them. So like not just replay, but write to a new card. But I think you need those Chinese magic cards to do it properly that have the first bit changed. Otherwise, it just seems to fail on every card I've tried it on. And I don't have one of those magic cards around. But it'd be cool if it worked on all the cards.
I've got a box of them.
Just send me a few. I need both the high-frequency MyFair ones and some of the low-frequency Proxmark ones.
Yeah, I think I've got a box of each.
Nice. Send me a few.
I still have 2 boxes of cards that you should have taken with you.
Well, you gave me a bunch of the ones that had the what was it, regular NFC? Forget the numbers, but the generic NFC ones you gave me, Delchai.
Okay.
There is a point here that I should address. You can emulate cards with the Proxmark. I just couldn't get it to work.
Yeah, I mean,
so we ended up making our own cards.
Sometimes you also, even if it says it copied it properly, it doesn't work. I've noticed that. And then some readers, you need to actually, also read the reader and the card, not just the card, if you want to get a complete copy. I was reading a cool thing on brute forcing the keys the other day. It seems a lot of them will just have the first 300 keys that people commonly use on them and try that. But somebody did a dictionary where they essentially did the equivalent of rainbow tables and got like every key combination possible. But then when you try it, it takes 8 hours to crack a fucking card rather than like 2 minutes to go through all the most common codes that it does now. So it'll still copy it. It just takes a lot longer, but it'll always copy it.
So is the idea brute forcing the rolling code technique?
No, the actual card itself, not the rolling code for like a garage replay.
Okay, I see.
So like the when it's cracking the HID card, or not the HID card, rather the MyFair card, specifically, HID is easy copy. MyFair, like the 1K or above, each one of them has a unique site code that's encoded onto the card, and you need to get that code when you're cloning it, and it has to like do a part of that where it's cracking like the unique identifier that's tied to the site code. And there's like 300 very common ones that everybody uses, but this one, and that's why like the Proxmark, a lot of the times it's going to get it right off the thing. And you can also get that same code by just reading it from the reader. That's how they kind of make it a little bit more difficult, where you actually have to have the reader and the card in proximity to make it work if you're going to make a good clone. That's why probably when you cloned it, you cloned the card, but without the part that it decrypts from the reader, it wasn't able to make an exact card, or at least replay it properly. And this dude built this thing where essentially it's all the codes possible, but then you got to leave the flipper on the damn card for 8 hours and keep it connected to a battery. And then it's always going to make a perfect copy, but it's going to take 8 hours. It's just like not
What's
really.
that? Yeah, relatively speaking, that's like what, a couple of movies, some beers. I mean,
I mean, if you have the physical card, a lot of the times you're only going to have it for a few minutes. That's the whole point. Or if you're in a hotel, obviously, you have 8 hours to clone the hotel card. But most of the time, you only need 10 minutes to do that anyway with the shit they already have out there. So,
well, can't you like clone the card and then figure it out later?
Yeah, I believe you can, but then you're going to need to edit that file when you rewrite it, because it's missing that piece. So you could get the data that you need and then come back later and read the reader and then put them together and write a card. But like the MyFair 3K, I think it is, or one of them, it's a bit more difficult to do that with the number of codes that are in there. It's like more complicated. I have run into it where my card, like that I have physically in my hand, will work to open the door, and I clone it on the flipper. And as far as I can tell, it's an exact, dupe of the card. And then I use the flipper to replay it on the reader, and it just doesn't open. But the card still works.
I couldn't get the flipper to work at DEF CON. Those cards, I don't know if I didn't let it sit there long enough or what, but I couldn't get it to work.
Well, it also depends. Like some firmware are better at writing these cards than others. Like the Rogue Master one I use tends to be pretty good. And I've heard Unleashed is pretty good, but the default firmware isn't as good. It doesn't have.
Yeah, don't use default firmware if you have a flipper.
I mean, yeah, not if you're doing evil professionally evil. If you are a regular normie, though, definitely stick with the default firmware, because that's what you want to use so you don't end up in jail for doing stupid shit that you're not authorized to do. It's kind of like people who bought the HackRF Porter Pack and they put the Havoc firmware on there and then got busted for jamming police signals. Not smart. Is like, that's the most retarded thing you could possibly do with that device. Or the guys who bought the GPS jammers who were Uber drivers and then went to the airport not realizing that the GPS jammer was also going to interfere with the aircraft that were trying to land at the airport that rely on GPS. Is like,
this goes back to my original comment about Uber drivers.
I have an Uber driver.
So hold on. In terms of flipper, the Momentum firmware, highly recommend. But there are warnings out there saying, like, if you slap on an external antenna or whatever, it's going to be like, hey, this frequency is outside of SEC or FCC regulations for the U.S. You cannot operate on these frequencies. It at least
Click yes
warns you.
to acknowledge this and do it anyway.
Yeah, do it anyways, pretty much.
Yeah, that's like the people that tell you, don't receive the satellite signals that are being beamed into your backyard. Okay.
Like I got the Mayhem one, for the flipper, and I got the ESP thing that I got a program for it when I get another
sweet
ESP programmer. And I got this one recently too. This is ESP32 Cam, where it's got a little camera built into an ESP. I can't see shit here with the freaking turn the filter off and then see the messy room. These are the choices here. Anyway, hopefully it'll come up if I do it. Nope, it's invisible. Almost.
Close enough.
Open the shit up, take it off the reflective bag, and then show it again where it might actually show up this time.
It's doing its job. So, there you go. Oh, almost.
There we go.
Yeah,
so this sucker has a freaking camera on it. And that's pretty cool for an ESP board because this is low power and you could probably do some pretty cool shit with a little, ESP that can run like a web server and a camera that's going to run off a freaking like AAA battery for 9 hours. So I'm going to have fun with those.
Reminds me of all the hacks you can do with the Game Boy, like have a printer on it, a camera on it.
Oh, there were some cool Game Boy hacks back in the day. And as far as AB switches, you were asking about people, Sledge, I think a few weeks back when you got your new rig, what a good KVM switch is. And I don't use KVM switches anymore. I just use these suckers, which is like little HDMI flippy. That's not showing up. There we go. Almost.
I actually have that same one. I have
right?
4
These are
of them.
super cheap.
Yep.
And you combine that with an AB switch and for USB, which is like $25, and put a USB hub in the AB switch. And then you don't have to worry when you want to switch keyboards between 2 devices. The keyboard and mouse, you just hit a button and it automatically, it works just like a KVM, but separated out into 2 different devices.
The main reason I was thinking about a KVM is because I couldn't power all these big ass monitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a docking station it was about $300 that's powered, that does everything, and it still wasn't working. Damn. So I started trying to troubleshoot, and I started going through the wires. Turns out the cat chewed on the main wire that went to the docking station. So I swapped that out, and all of a sudden everything works.
Nice. Oh, I got another one of these again. This goes with my my portable router, and it goes USB-C on this end over to Ethernet and another USB-C port, and you can daisy chain these as well. So now that little portable router that's got a battery that kind of looks like a charge pack, I can add Ethernet to it as well, and say I want to jack in instead of jack off, I can do that,
We use those in my living room to transfer between PC output and the Roku and then VR. So I have like a 3-way version, so I can just hit a button and be like, okay, this is what we want now. They're pretty handy for shit. What are they, $10?
Yeah, they're cheap. I got a Bring Back Fat Dave, new one. Friend has a friend besides Deltri at this point has a what's it called? Button maker. So I sent him the picture that I found from the original button and had to make me a new one because I lost my old Bring Back Fat Dave one. And you
That's hilarious. I have not seen that one yet.
Yeah, man, it's great. Button printers are pretty cheap too. I imagine it'd be a good way to make some swag pretty cheap instead of stickers. People don't mind putting holes in their shirt.
That's what I've been doing for the last couple of years for HDA. We've been doing pin back buttons instead of crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we should make more. Make better ones. Stronger ones.
I can hook you up with that. That's not a problem.
You know, it'd be cool is if we got buttons that had magnets on the back instead of the thing that rips your shirt, and then and then you make a bunch of those. Yeah, let's do that shit.
Dude, I've got a peppercorn badge that has magnets on both sides that holds one of those poker chip coins in between the magnets in the badge. It's really freaking neat.
Nice. I still have a few of the goon coins, the $5 ones, laying around somewhere. Those are fun.
I've got probably a couple hundred.
Yeah, we should turn them into like. In fact, no, we should do evil with those at some point. I heard
it'd be cool to do. If we could do something cool with it, that'd be sweet. I just don't have any ideas.
How about we, to start, we drill a little slot in it and we stick a NFC thing in there so that you can tap the goon coin to somebody's phone and have it act like a business card.
And then sell it on eBay and then see if that person shows up at DEF CON.
Or we try and find the logo for next year's DEF CON and make a bunch of goon coins ahead of time and see if we can mix them in with the batch. You go up to the chick ahead of time and be like, hey, you're distributing the goon coins. Here's a bunch of them. And just intermix our shitty fake ones in with hers. I'm sure Mark Rogers would love if we did that. They were pissed enough when somebody was using last year's coin this year. Fun times.
Oh, shit. That's a good idea. I never thought about try that. Bring previous year coins and see if the hotel will accept them for food and drink.
They did, and they were upset because they were going through the coins the people at the registers had, and in the stock, they were talking about how somebody keeps mixing in all these old coins from last year with the new coins. They don't know where they're getting them from.
I mean, they should already be prepaid for anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, there you go. It's pretty funny, though, that somebody was doing that. I mean, to hold on to a goon coin for an entire year just to use it so that you can get a free soda when it's like $12 for a soda. I get that. I like how also the $5 coins are not good for anything because nothing was less than $5. You need at least 2 of them.
My farmer's tan is ridiculous. No, dude, my farmer's tan is ridiculous. Like,
dude, the angle of you to your camera and talking and stretching your arms like that, you looked like Slender Man for a minute, like all distorted. Like, oh, great. Yeah.
I don't have any room between these monitors to put my camera anywhere else.
I gotta fix this fucking thing. This was a pretty cool little Game Boy thing, but I broke it when I took it apart and couldn't put it back together right. But this has
is that
like
a Game Shark?
No, this is like generic Chinese shit you buy in Las Vegas casino, where it has a bunch of Nintendo games on a little.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Nintendo. It's got like SNES and NES games, and I was curious if it had like an SD card on it that I could pop out and like put my own games on, but it looks like it's all done in flash memory. But I definitely destroyed it because when I took it apart, the battery pack wouldn't go back on properly, so now I have no way to charge it. Just desolder it and put a freaking 18650s in there and 3D print a new back. But that's a lot of work when I could just go buy another one for $20 on eBay. So it's probably just going to stay like that.
Yeah. Well, my dogs are freaking out. I got to take care of them. I don't know if we want to keep going or.
No, it's. I think it's a good ending point. We should probably end here. Thank you.
We got a good ending.
Well, Deltri sent me something, but I forgot to upload it. So, no, don't have a good ending. Got a shitty ending, and that's what
we need an outro.
We do need an outro, but we don't have one yet. So we're just going to go with the intro as the outro and then play Ferris Bueller.
Why do 90% of hackers swear by counter-surveil? Let's dive in and find out. In the labyrinthine world of cyberspace, every click leaves a trace. But with counter-surveil, you become the unseen. Our podcast takes you deep into the heart of hacking, where firewalls crumble and secrets unravel. From white hat heroes to shadowy code warriors, we cover the spectrum. Join us on Iron Geek, your portal to mastering the art of stealth and strategy. Discover the tools, the tricks, and the tales that define the modern hacker. Tune in and transform from a curious novice into a digital legend. This is Counter Surveil. Unmask the unknown.
Tune into the sound waves, secrets of the dark maze, dark codes in the nighttime, information co-aligned. We're free in the spotlight, chatting through the late night. Smart contracts are lying, auditing, verifying. Counter surveilling my ear, security we engineer. Learn the truth, don't disappear. Counter surveil, we're right here. Crypto dreams and data streams. Listen close, it's closer than it seems. Fix the flaws, see through the smog. Counter serve will join the blog.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.